Hey everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, SalvationsElite. To my right is Bash_BO3 Sam. And to our farthest right, per use, is Rex ShadyNero. Obviously, CDL Seattle is in the books. Ooh. A lot to talk about today. The Huntsmen got it done. I know a lot of you guys out there are pretty freaking excited about that. But first, before we get anything else, I gotta ask, guys, what is going on?
Josh, I am feeling like a warm cashmere sweater on a snowy day sitting by a campfire.
Oh, that's it.
How I'm feeling today.
Hey, short and
sweet today. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Doing good.
Formal got a chip.
Formal got a chip. I'm
or
so happy for
whatever
him.
it's called nowadays.
Whatever
That's
it is.
a debate we've had many times on this show.
He's looking good again.
Yeah, but obviously a ton to go through today, of course. We do appreciate you guys tuning in, checking it out. Obviously, you can find us on Twitter, like I said, SalvationsElite, Bash_BO3, and ShadyNero. And you can listen to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can watch on YouTube, of course. We do appreciate all the comments and the reviews on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate reviews so much.
We do.
That we're reading a review here on the podcast. Kyle SRN says, entertaining CDL pod, 5 stars. Really enjoyed this podcast, keeping us up to date on all things CDL. They provide a great mix of opinions on various matters surrounding the league, players, and rumors, and they also back up their takes with stats. And as an outsider's fan perspective, or from an outsider's fan perspective, we'll be listening to all their future episodes. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle SRN. We appreciate that, man.
You're too
Obviously, again, we do appreciate all the reviews, and if you leave a nice one, we might just read it on the show. Actually, we would for sure read it on the show. But oh yeah, we do appreciate that. So obviously, that can take us nearly into the news. I do have to give a little update on the fantasy league, of course. Our weekly community league for the tournaments did not go to plan for me, at least. I got smoked in this community league. I didn't have Slasher, which at this point, or Mac. If you don't have Slasher or Mac, you're probably getting smoked. Unfortunately, got smoked myself.
I performed better, but
yeah, we did like a pick 10 system this time. I don't know how you guys felt about that. Basically, no budget, just pick 10 players. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Do you like the massive rosters, or do you want to go down next week? I don't know. We can probably maybe talk about that.
I feel like either one was pretty equal. It's
equal.
I mean,
different, but
it's different. I think it's nice to switch it up every now and again.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick, I think I prefer to have the salary cap. Makes you kind of have to question your choices a little more.
Yeah, and dig deeper with some of the lesser players.
Yeah, but the whole Chino thing was kind of like a scam. Just like everyone's gonna pick him up because he's so cheap. And he's
like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, or 2 events ago. Yeah. So I don't know. Drop your comments down below for you guys if depending on what the format you guys liked and want to see next time. But shout out to Munchie98 for taking home the championship this week. 708 points. The only person with over 700 points in the league.
Nice job.
I mean, he of course had Slasher, Luca, Mac. So that Luca pick was a
I was gonna say
big time pick there. He even went with Dylan.
I'm shocked with the Dylan, just from how he's been performing. But you predicted it right. He came out to play. So wow.
Yeah, I think the Luca pick's probably the biggest one because he came out with 79 points, and the difference. So since you had 10 players, the difference between winners and losers, basically down the line was just a few points between each spot. So it was pretty interesting how it ended up getting divided up. But I got absolutely smoked. I don't think any of us finished out of the top 20. So we y'all smoked us this week. But all right, let's get into the news finally before all you guys click off this episode. But the biggest thing off the rip here is the potential incoming changes potentially with GAs and the incoming quote-unquote change that some players are talking about in stream to headline. Obviously, we got a lot of roster changes that potentially could happen this week and a lot of things. But first off with the GAs, what are your guys' thoughts with this? And basically, a few guys were in a call together on Discord and on stream, and they're talking about the potential changes coming, the big change coming to the CoD League. And then the news broke today that CDL Intel was hearing about a potential change for GAs when it comes to tack sprint, Merc foregrip, and snaking. I don't know if that's only on specific parts of the map or overall, but what were your guys' thoughts when you first heard about that?
I personally, I'm one of those people who's not a huge fan of having a lot of GAs. I think when it comes to movement-based GAs like snaking, and I guess even tac sprint, even though that's kind of a little bit different because it's a setting, but it's just like, how do you tell someone that they can't use the most optimal movement that's possible? Like, especially if it can become so automatic and so just kind of built into the game, like your gameplay. That, like, so I've never been a fan of stuff like that. Snaking is just something that needs to be patched. Otherwise, you should be abusing it. Merc foregrip, I mean, I don't see a big reason why that would need to be GA'd. Tac sprint, I don't know. All of the GAs being discussed, I don't see a reason why they really need to be GAs, personally.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, Sam, where are you at with it?
I was surprised by the foregrip.
The most.
That was weird. Like,
what in the world?
I would have understood like a month into CDL.
Yeah,
like,
a few months ago.
Okay, the MP5 is too powerful. Let's ban this. But like now, when you have M4s doing well, like
where 80% of the leaderboards are M4s at the top, KD wise.
It just seems like a last ditch effort to the teams that aren't performing well,
and that want like a 3 AR meta or like at least a 2 AR meta,
which is weird. I don't know how everyone is. I feel like people are gonna shut it down, but maybe people
I'd
want it.
imagine it gets shut down. I think out of any of them that potentially might not get shut down, I could see tac sprint, automatic tac sprint, being GA.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't want it to be, because literally it's saving so many people so much money. Because like anybody who owns a Scump, these Scump controllers are getting destroyed
and like
by tac sprints.
Yeah, like I don't want to speak for all the pros, but I would assume they're getting a lot of their controllers free or at a huge discount.
Yeah.
And a lot of the AMs, I'm sure.
So it's not a problem for them.
I'm sure a lot of the AMs are going through a bunch of controllers and are like, this is going to save us a lot of controllers. But
yeah, but I mean, that's not even, obviously they're GAing it because, so the whole argument there is that like some players or people have gotten, bailed out by auto tac sprint. That is a lot easier to play fast and quote unquote cracked. And it bails out people who didn't have as good of movement.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally absolutely loved it, so maybe I'm biased because I'd be really, really sad to see it go. So I mean, you guys don't use tac sprint right now, right? So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts about the tac sprint then?
It was interesting to see that the majority of the backlash was from FaZe. I saw BZ tweet about it. I saw Simp tweet about it, which I guess makes sense. They're the top of the leaderboard of
crack
movement. So they don't want anyone to come near them, right?
Yeah, get close.
But yeah, for me, I tried it, and it's probably one of those things where like you just got to get through that weird phase. But like
the beginning of it,
I tried it. I'm like, I just don't want to even go through this phase, so I just went back to normal. But Rex, I don't know if you've even tried it or not, but
yeah, I use it. I like it.
Oh, you do? Okay,
nice. Yeah, I like it personally for my personal use, but I've always just been like a fast player like that, and so to make my life easier,
right?
But now that you say it, it does make sense that somebody might want to GA it because, like, if someone like Simp and BZ are saying they should GA, it's like these people have like built up that skill, to be able to do that. That if people are getting bailed out by having worse gameplay,
I mean,
then or like they're just like, their movement's just not as good, but now it can be because the game just makes it good for them. Then that's like, okay, where's the skill gap there?
Yeah, it lowers the skill gap on like how to use the tac sprint for sure. But like, I know for me, like I know for a fact that my movement feels so much smoother now because of the auto tac sprint. I think so. Like I'm seeing the benefit of it off the rip right here, where I feel like I'm competing with some of the more cracked out subs that I knew, at least to a better extent than I was before because of the auto tac sprint. So I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's like, it feels like a feature with the tac sprint that should have been there from the beginning. So, I mean, maybe, in my opinion, I think it makes the game better and like more interesting overall, but I am biased because it definitely helps me as a whole. So I'd be really, really sad to see it go. Not to mention, it helps my thumbs and my wallet because, bro, I know my scuff's about to break again. I've already gone through one. And if I had to keep tac sprinting, this thing's done for. I'm gonna be pissed.
It's unfortunate.
So yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see where that plays out. I'm definitely opposed to all of them. The Merc foregrip is at least kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Since so many attachments are already GA'd, like why not just try it out? I'd be interested to see. I mean, do you think there's any chance that the incoming change that they were talking about isn't related to GAs? I mean, I know like some people were like spitballing about like what it could be. Like, oh, did they get news of a patch update coming or like something like that?
Yeah. I mean, my initial thoughts is like maybe they're gonna nerf the MP5 and kind of buff ARs more.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to meta, I mean, this is the least meta changed game potentially ever.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like the meta is just like ingrained and it's there.
Yeah,
but
it's been like slight changes with like attachments.
Which, like, I'm trying to think back to Black Ops 4. Was there a SOG?
Well, there was the
update?
the hit scan update that like made the SOG like a decent gun where it basically,
and that was like kind of like at this point in the game.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was about maybe a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Every COD they have that point where it's like some guns like they nerf and buff a gun.
Because I mean,
and changes the whole meta a little bit.
Before it was like the non-hit scan SOG, which is like inconsistent and like felt weird.
Yeah.
And like basically all the best Slayers were using, for the most part, the Maddox.
Yeah.
But then it switched, and then suddenly the SOG became godly.
Amazing.
The second half of the year, and that's when you started seeing like Dylan and Envoy like just start dominating.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Like, are we going to see like a team come out of the swamps, the woodworks with this new change? If it happens, I don't know. But yeah, in regards to like that tweet, talking about the change, I think it is probably like
not that big of a deal, or GA potentially.
So we'll see.
If that is what it is, where the MP5 is being nerfed and the AR is being, I feel like Minnesota could benefit from that a lot.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that a lot for sure. There'd be a few teams. I mean, and like, yeah, it would be really interesting. I'd be interested to see how that plays, especially if, I guess we'll just talk about more if it actually happens. But yeah, I'd be interested to see a meta change at some point. It'd probably be nice for the scene to have a little bit of a switch up.
Definitely.
But all right, moving forward, challengers. We got to talk about challengers, of course. Yeah. And there was some drama following the challengers this weekend as well.
There's
always some drama. You know, it's the COD amateurs.
Yeah.
The AM scene's always going to have their juicy drama to go along with all the action, and this weekend was not an exception to that rule. So, of course, I mean, with Awakening leaving the North American scene to join Florida, WestR had to find the new teammate, and that ended up being this week. It ended up being Super, who's kind of found his way around teams the past few years. He's been a solid player for a long time. I actually like him a lot. He's a really cool guy. But unfortunately, they didn't have the event they were looking to have. They finished top 8 this weekend, and FaZe Academy, interestingly enough, came from the losers bracket and beat what the Pentagram's team, Stamino Pentagram, which was, they named themselves Kentucky Fire. It's weird seeing like these random names.
I know.
Because normally we just see like orgs.
I know. I really do wish they'd at least keep the name like similar, but yeah, there's literally a new name.
I know. Because nowadays with the AM scene in its current state, there's not enough orgs to go around. Yeah. So we had like Kentucky Fire and the 08 Celtics. Let's go, Paul Pierce. But finished in top 3. But yeah, FaZe Academy finished in top. And like I said, Kentucky Fire was Pentagram, Stamino, Zinx, Charles, and Willett. And then 08 Celtics was TCM's team. TCM fame, Katani, Noisy, and Diamond Khan. And then 4th was the old Triumph squad with fellow Royalty, Nagafin, Standy, and Dave Beatty. So another really interesting event. I mean, there was a lot of drama there again with Parasite on UIU this week. They finished top 6. And then Gunjar, Profizi Exotic, they finished top 6 as well. Pollux, Fire. And then, like I said, WestR, Carnage finished top 8. So any thoughts there with the AM scene as a whole?
I was going to say with the whole Super thing with he tweeted
there's some big
out
time drama there. Yeah.
So just like a brief, Super basically got picked up. He tweeted this out. He said
after Awakening was dropped.
He said
left.
Yeah, he said that he wanted confirmation from WestR that he wasn't going to just get dropped right away after this tournament.
Like a 1 week thing.
Yeah. And they said no, there's no way. Well, sure enough, after they get top 8, he gets dropped. So they literally picked him up and they dropped him.
Yeah. So the tweets that he ended up deleting were: WestR asked me to play. I made them assure me I'd be good after the event and I wouldn't get dropped. They all said yes, was given people's word. To get the event, I got to take long routes, get spawns every hill, so I don't have as many kills as everyone else.
He's the route
and
man.
I get dropped.
Yeah.
LMAO fake. And then Oh, he tweeted Glow Frosty.
Glow Frosty.
Some kind words to Glow Frosty. And then he said, yeah, by the way, we lagged host on purpose in the match against Haggy.
So, interesting. Do we think that's going on more than once? I don't know.
Yeah, but then he deleted the tweets, and then Zaptius tweeted like, bro, what?
Yeah.
And so like Zaptius was like, yo, that's just not true.
It could have just been a huge thing where he's just angry. So, I mean.
Yeah.
We'll probably never know the full story, but.
You see how it goes with the AM scene,
But
right?
the AM scene is continuing to be dramatic.
Yeah. I mean, Rex, thoughts?
I mean, I honestly wouldn't put it past an AM team of trying to use like a lag switch or something. I don't know super well enough for him to like know if he would lie about something like that.
Yeah. It is hard to know.
That's what's happening, and that's what that team's been doing. Like, that's just sad and
unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for FaZe Academy, at least they took home this tournament. I mean, you know, they brought on Luti as their coach about maybe a month ago or so, and they kind of been working their way, finishing like top 16, top 8.
Yeah, they've been not doing too well.
Hovering around top 16, top 8 for the past multiple weeks.
Not terrible, but they've had worse placings than you expect.
Right. I mean, they won the Atlanta Challengers event, like the actual LAN Atlanta Challengers event. And then hadn't really been able to do anything since then. And then now they finally get back on top. So it'll be interesting to see, like, after now that Awakening left and WestR, kind of that whole dominance from, like, WestR these past few months. And the AM scene, where that goes from here. I mean, yeah, in the European side again, like we see, it's the same characters near the top. But Singularity comes in third. Team War comes in second. As the Nolson, Mad Cat, Weeman, Nasty, Lenny squad takes home the trophy, takes home the gold. In the past, we've been seeing like the Paris squads and basically Singularity and Team War going back and forth. Yeah. And then Weeman, Mad Cat, and Olsen, like they've kind of been just so close and right near the top, but they finally get their first place again and find their way back on top. Let's talk a little bit about Warzone Weekend and like the production, kind of like as like our little first segment before we transition into the CDL reaction and all the news from the CDL specifically. Okay, did you guys watch? I mean, I hope you guys watched the Warzone Weekend, everybody out there, because it was actually a blast. I actually really enjoyed the production of it. You know, how they delivered it felt a little I think it was pre-recorded.
It could have been, honestly,
to an extent, maybe like a few hours pre-recorded.
Like, all the comms were like there, were they not?
And like the fact that they were playing like right before some of the matches were starting, it had to have been pre-recorded to an extent at least.
Yeah.
And they they bleeped out the comms and stuff. So, but overall, I mean, I guess I thought it was really cool as a whole. Maybe we can talk about some improvements to make, but what were your initial reactions before we talk about like improvements as a whole that we can maybe make to it?
I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I liked having all those, like the pro teams fighting against other pro teams.
Yeah.
I think it was something fun to do. It's like, I would love to watch that like as the pre-show rather than whatever they usually show for an hour.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, way better than the 2v2 matches, whatever, you know, where they do. I don't know.
The show matches.
I'm just not a fan of those show matches. I can get the appeal.
Hype battles.
Hype battles. Yeah, I can get the appeal, like, you know, where they bring on certain popular people, but it just seems like it's just all like, you know, whatever. But like now with like potentially doing like a Warzone type thing, like that's interesting because people like Warzone is a very popular aspect of this game, so it could potentially bring more eyes to the CDL. So
with the pro players playing Warzone, I think that's the biggest draw for me. It makes it interesting.
Definitely.
Well, especially even the fact that like these guys have been like the record holders, like the BZ and FaZe and all them, like just dominating the kill records.
What would be cool, honestly, would be to be like mix up teams, like do like a draft almost, like
that'd be interesting.
So like you're getting like cross teams, you know,
cross pollination.
Got like a formal and a simp and you know whoever.
There's a lot of ways they could do it. I hope they can like switch up the rotations and how they do it because I'd be interested to see that. Yeah. But I absolutely love like the Gulag. That was the highlight for sure. Was the Gulag matches like what one point like Censor
beat
who was it? I can't remember.
It was a FaZe member.
Priest.
Oh, it was Ibiza.
Yeah.
Ibiza.
Yes.
Ibiza. But yeah, that was awesome. I absolutely love that. You can tell like Censor's like, this is my career on the line. This is my career on the line. the gulag like with like a pistol or something. Yeah. This is absolutely hilarious. That's like the highlight for me because I mean, when else do you get to see like 1v1 matches with pros?
It was cool.
Like we haven't seen that since like the good old days of content creation on YouTube.
Yeah.
But, I absolutely love that. I mean, I guess when it comes to like any improvements, I mean, what were your thoughts there? I know we actually talked a little bit about this before, like with what you like to see. I would love to see them. I hate the fact that like not all the players on each squad get to play. Like I saw like Karma's like, man, I bet it's probably pretty fun to play some Warzone. You know, like because Karma didn't get to play for Seattle. And I wish that I would be down to see if we could figure out a way to get all of the players on the team, like maybe do 3v3s and see all the players play or something like that, and maybe split each team up into 2 teams.
Definitely, yeah. Like that's where like maybe like that's where like doing a draft of sorts
could maybe work.
Like you do like multiple teams of 4. And then you just keep going until like you have the full CDL roster.
Create drama, man.
I don't know.
Rex, what are your thoughts?
I mean, personally, I like it when you stick to the team. So like
the actual starting rosters,
like the actual starting rosters playing on it. Like I know you can't have all 5 or whatever.
You don't want to see
like,
Barstool play, bro?
No, I don't want to see Barstool Dan or whatever his name play for OpTic. I don't want and even Maniac for Florida. I don't want to see him play. Like I don't care. He's literally we have Barstool Dan playing against Simp and Abizi. It's like, what do you think's gonna happen here,
bro? Barstool Hank was getting his. I think it was Hank, right? Wasn't it Hank?
I have no idea.
Know. He killed 2 people on the Ravens.
He was getting he was getting his.
He jumped out of a window into the smoke to kill 2 and then get knocked himself. But it's like big sacrifice. Like, but it's just like we're not seeing the pros play. Like, I want to see the absolute like best Call of Duty players in the world that are on the same team, so like they know how to communicate with each other and like try to play the best game of Warzone that they can.
Bro, Kleenex was frying.
I was gonna say
it was
cool to see Kleenex.
Only a pro is like does things like that. You know?
But like Kleenex in your situation wouldn't get a play.
Well, he's on Ultra, so he would. I mean, Ultra can have 2 teams because they got a massive roster.
So are you just saying like you just want to make sure that there's only pros? They don't have to be the starting roster. It has to be pros. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I want it to be pros.
Yeah,
like I know, like I guess Maniac's a sub, but like we know he's not a sub.
Yeah,
so, like I didn't care to see him there, but I want to see good players, like actual good players on teams playing against each other.
Yeah,
and just like and actually like try. But I also think I don't want to see what Paris does every time. So I think there needs to be some sort of
because
the number of kills you get also adds to your points.
Right, so like how PUBG or Fortnite would do it in a competitive setting. Like you get bonuses for wins, but it's really about the kills.
That was a weird move to not do that because then
then you just have Paris sitting in a house.
Why wouldn't you not just sit in the house?
Especially in a game where you can literally figure out where the zone's going with recons. Like you can literally figure out where the zone's going to be next because of recons, and like you can like just go play like what Paris did. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, they definitely need to change the format and like kills need to matter because like OpTic had like 16 kills and don't get rewarded at all for that like by far slaying out the most in the lobby. So it's like what? That is weird. So yeah, I agree with that in a way, but I'd be down to see them just play for kills.
Yeah,
how would that work out? You know, that'd be interesting with how the gulag plays and everything else.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. But yeah, I think the biggest problem for me was that like there's only like what 60 something players playing because like 60 players playing or
I think so.
Something like that. 4
times 12.
48 players playing. Yeah. So it's like inherently at the beginning of the game it's going to be so slow. It's like I think the more teams you can get, the better.
Yeah. You know what would be really fun? Maybe. Is if you had a Warzone lobby with all the pros and you split them up, you know, and then like you split their squads up with what their like team is. Like you have like all of like the Huntsmen are in one squad, and then all of Rokkr in one squad. Like, and then you have a full Warzone lobby. I think you get a full Warzone lobby, right?
Well, you'd have to get to 150 if you ever got full lobby.
Well, but what is it, like 32v32? That's 64.
Oh,
you have like
and
64.
Like play massive teams, or what are you trying to say?
Yeah, play like 2 massive teams of Warzone and like have the squads of like the actual team, and then try and go at it that way.
Interesting.
I'd be down.
It'd be kind of cool.
Maybe one commander or something for each team.
It's basically like a Battlefield, but like
almost like a Battlefield-esque thing. But the commander can like tell us, okay, you guys need to go and try
I know
and
in the past, like Fortnite's done like
50v50
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be an option.
Yeah,
like that would be kind of fun.
I know. I wish they could figure out a way to do that because I mean, I know at the beginning of the year, like the pros were like, "Yo, we need to do like a ground war."
Yeah,
32v32,
definitely,
which would have been sick.
I mean,
that's what. Ground war. Yeah,
that'd be so sick.
Like, and now it's actually possible because of the online.
Yeah.
If it's all online, they could actually do it.
Yeah.
Unlike before, where obviously on land you can't have 64 setups on a main stage. Sure. So yeah, that would be really, really interesting. I'd be down, like so down for that.
I think the commanders thing would be real, like Nubsy as a commander, and then like Brian Saint as the other commander or something.
Yeah.
Or Crowder, and like have them like be in their team speaks, like tell the other teams what to do, like what flags
wasn't there like on like Battlefield 4, like a commander could like actually like use like an iPad and like
was that actually a thing?
I think it was.
Yeah,
like,
it was
Battlefield
a thing.
3 or Battlefield 4, the commander would like just hop on an app and like command them where to go and do stuff like that.
Oh wow!
I
cool. Liked playing commander. I would play commander sometimes. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's potential for it. Hopefully they keep doing it because I'm down to watch it.
Yeah.
So it was actually dope. But let's move forward a little bit to talking about the broadcast itself before we actually get into the predictions and the reactions. I mean, to the event. I was pretty happy with this weekend.
Better. It was
like
better.
Finally, we see some improvement with the production and like the audio delays and so many other things that have been problems. I mean, and the viewership was like up. Hopefully, as a reaction to that as well, and some of the hype as well. But
definitely,
I mean, where were you at with that?
Yeah, it seemed to like technically there wasn't like major audio issues. There wasn't like lagging behind people. The player interviews were actually like on point with each other. Like
for the most part, at least.
For the most part, the only thing was like again, like I'm like nitpicking here, but like
the whole Momo thing.
The whole Momo thing was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think Lottie had one like where she was kind of talking, but like she wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah,
it's
like,
weird how that happens. I want to know. I would love to know like why does that happen?
Yeah, but yeah, it like almost seems like they weren't practicing this. Like they had to use the past 3 tournaments as practice, which is like weird. But happy to see improvements. They could still, there's still some things that can be worked on.
Yeah, like the listen. I think there's like a problem with like the Huntsmen listening.
Like took for like 2 minutes for it to even like come on.
Yeah, that was awkward.
This is really awkward.
Yeah. Happy Drex, where were you? What do you think about it?
I think, man, it seems like it's getting better every time. My only problem is just the breaks are incredibly long.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and that grand finals break is still a killer, man.
It really is. It's crazy.
It is. That's my only complaint, and that's going to be the only one that's going to be my complaint every time until it's fixed. Just like the breaks are just really long sometimes.
Yeah.
And you just go to breaks constantly.
Like, you wonder how much of that is like sponsors requiring that, or if it's just like truly like they're like not getting something, they're not doing something right. I have no idea. Behind the scenes there, but yeah, it is rough. You're just like, okay, it's been 45 minutes. How have we not started the grand finals yet?
Like I was literally going back and forth, like just on the TV, like, bro, what?
How is it not started?
How is this not started yet?
Yeah,
it's like, I could have watched like half of Endgame by now. But yeah, I mean, viewership wise, the average viewership was up by like 6,000 or 7,000. Like it was like near 50,000.
It's good
for average viewership, and it peaked at almost 100,000 again, which would have been the first time it peaked at over 100,000 for online.
Yeah,
we were just short. It peaked at 97, I think 97,000.
That's good
for the Chicago London match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's lining up to be a pretty insane champs. I'm pretty sure, especially if it's on LAN.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they can figure out a way to get all the players in one spot for this. I think the viewership for $2 million like grand finals, wherever it's going to be, especially, and imagine if the Huntsmen are in the grand finals, that thing would be popping like crazy, and hopefully draw a lot of eyes for CoD Champs. Is going to be pretty exciting if we can peak at like over 200, maybe 300,000. Am I crazy? 300,000 for a CoD Champs would be pretty exciting. So, all right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Am I a Midwesterner or what? The meat and potatoes of this podcast, the reactions from CDL Seattle. I mean, obviously the Huntsman took home the chip. We're going to talk about MVPs and everything else here in a second. I think we're going to go kind of like team by team and talk about all of all of the topics surrounding these teams. But let's start with some broad topics here as an overall kind of like to dig into the reactions and go from there. So, which team were you most impressed with, or which team surprised you the most after the tournament? Rex?
The team that surprised me the most, I mean, I guess I would say Ravens. They played really well for just picking up 0.
Crazy, man.
I mean, I kind of also said in my bracket that Ravens might play well, but still a bit of surprise that they made it to the finals.
Yeah, dude. I think, like, obviously, I think we can talk about players here in a second, but like Wuskins in S&D, those snipes and how he was playing that, bro.
Ridiculous.
How do you stop that? Like,
I don't think you can.
It was every time it felt like there was just like an unstoppable angle that Wuskins had on somebody. Where you're just like, what are you supposed to do there?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if Wuskins hitting that shot every single time, like you literally can't win these rounds. Oh. You know, so I mean, they look like a really, really dangerous team in S&D with Wuskins playing like that. Like, how do you play London on Arclov S&D at this point with how Wuskins is sniping there?
Yeah.
Like against OpTic, like Dashy went down to the sniper and then like Kenny picked up the sniper to like try to rechow Wuskins, and Wuskins got the 2-piece. You're like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you rechowing him? So I'll agree with you there. I mean, definitely London was really, really surprising. Sam, who's your like biggest surprise?
For sure London was like really surprising. Really like two teams.
There's a lot of surprises.
I know. I'm gonna try to like condense it down here, but seeing that the grand finals was 2 teams that made changes was really impressive.
Yeah, that's surprising in itself.
Huntsmen, obviously, with Rossini, they like, you know, we did discuss how they weren't looking too good.
Yeah, they could easily be the biggest surprise
on their scrims. OpTic really too. Like, I am impressed that, you know, like they're going from being like 0-2 pretty much every tournament to like now they're like getting out of the grouping. So I mean, like, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna have to talk about the future of OpTic here in a second, for sure.
Then like the last thing I'll say too is just Rokkr was a very
surprisingly
bad again.
Yeah,
so.
I guess it was there out of. I mean, Rokkr had to be the biggest surprise for disappointing again.
Yeah. Which is weird. Like, I don't know what to think about them. I haven't really made up my mind on them yet, which we'll get into later.
We'll definitely get into it in a second. But I agree with you both ways. There's
some pretty fun. Like really, like pretty much all, like, except for like Paris, like they're pretty much all surprises.
I mean, the Surge were just surprisingly depressing. I mean, like we all kind of expected it in a way. Yeah. I mean, a lot of pros were picking them to win a few matches at least, and here they go again doing their Surge things. But like, let's talk about players for a second. I mean, what player surprised you the most, or like let's say which player disappointed you the most first, and then we can go impressed. Was there a player that specifically stuck out to you as a player that like was inherently disappointing?
For me, probably GodRx.
Again?
Yeah. I mean, now it's 2 turns in a row. He hasn't played up to what I guess we originally thought he was. Maybe we overhyped him in the beginning, and maybe I'm expecting too much of him now in my head, maybe, but I don't know. I see him being one of the best ARs, and everyone's saying he's one of the best ARs. Now he's really not doing, he's not as noticeable. Yeah,
he had a 0.89 KD, and even in hardpoint, only a 0.96. Like, that's not what that's just significantly below what he was doing. Only less than 19% of his team's kills. So, when it comes to like his impact on the map, it wasn't nearly where it has been in the past few events. And like, again, it's tough for Minnesota. Like, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
What's one for you, Sam?
I guess I don't have the stats in front of me, but did Dashy?
Dashy had a down event.
Yeah, because like I don't usually like. I know we've been seeing like the rise of Slasher, right? Like
0.87 in hardpoint.
Yeah, like we've been seeing like the rise of Slasher in S&D and overall, and usually Dashy has been the kind of the most consistent one of this team.
Consistent slayer.
Being like putting up stuff, and like now he did have a tweet like saying like he's just in a slump, I think, right now, like, which I feel like all players are probably gonna go through this like a mental slump at some point. So I fully expect him to rebound. But yeah, I think like he may have been like a surprisingly, underperforming player this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just tough, man. OpTic can't get it all to come together, you know?
Yeah, Flasher like put in what was it, like 46 and whatever on that
on Ramaza.
Ramaza.
Yeah. The kill record on Ramaza.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely insane. He was literally just dominating top plat. Like, oh my goodness.
He was beaming.
Went on like what, a 14 kill streak?
I think so.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, his Slasher's engagement success rate, which I think he's easily my most surprising player in a positive note, just because he dominated like just overall as a whole. I mean, he had a 62.8% true engagement success rate, which is like your kills. How many of your engagements result in either a kill or an assist?
Yeah.
So, a positive impact on the map. And like, I think it's one of the most telling stats in this game because, at least in my opinion, this game trading is almost more important than it's ever been. And like, dying doesn't really matter as long as it's getting traded out.
Yeah.
And Slasher, almost 63% of his kills were success, or his engagements were successful, which is insane.
Yeah.
Some of the highest we've seen this year. And Luka was right there with him. So Luka, you could potentially argue, will be one of the most surprising players as well.
I know. Yeah. I did not expect that at all.
Let's just dive into the teams because I have so much to say about so many of these teams.
Yeah.
And so I think we can just like, instead of having like throw stuff to the back, we'll just go straight into the teams. Okay, let's talk about Paris first.
Man. There's just
they won Warzone Weekend.
Yeah. The thing with Paris is like we're not seeing anything. Like we're just seeing the same results.
Just meh.
Every single week.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Shocks or maybe it was Dens tweet out like he's just saying like this is just getting tired. Like it's the same thing week in, week out. Same old. And it's like that's gotta suck so bad. Like that mentality where you're just going in and it's just like like what's gonna happen here is just nothing. And
yeah, I mean that's tough. That's the difference between like this tournament format versus like a normal like open bracket or like a tournament format where you have a pool play. Like you get 2 matches, and in this tournament it was you get to play the Huntsmen and you get to play OpTic Gaming.
Yeah,
you gotta beat one of them to get a third match. So it's like for Paris. It's tough. Like, what are you supposed to do? You got to beat one of them. They took a map off both of them, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, Rex, what are you thinking with Paris?
I don't know. I feel like there's a coaching issue there. I feel like the players are up. Like, they can compete. I see life in them, but just like something just isn't connecting right. Paris before, they seemed to know what they were doing before everybody else. But now it seems like people have caught up.
They've definitely caught up.
And Paris have not adapted or made new strategies or hasn't evolved.
Yeah, because
I feel like it might be a coaching issue in that way. I mean, you could say it's a player issue as well, but I don't think they're just worse players. But do you see the
as like being high? Because like we've seen Kismet and Luka go off now, and it's the same result.
I think it's a structure thing. I think they just don't have a structure for them to fall on.
Yeah, I mean, I think just truly at the end of the day, it's the same argument that we've seen in the past. It's like why a team like TK in World War II at the beginning dominated, and then things changed for them, and they changed teams, and there's just teams catch up to their strategies and how that works. Like they were so good, like TK was so good at S&D back at the beginning, and then teams catch up. And like Paris again, like we said in the past, like they figured out the 2AR meta first and how to make that work, and then it just doesn't work anymore. And it's that's what gave them the edge at the beginning. And I think talent wise, there's just never going to be an elite team at this point.
Yeah,
I would be shocked, no pun intended, if they end up being like a top even 8 team in this league after the next few weeks.
Because right now they are 8th in standings, and then you have Subliners and Toronto below them.
Yeah, they don't play next week or next event. They don't play at Minnesota. Then they have their home series on June 19th. Then they play in New York. Then they play in London, but then they're done for the year. So they got 3 events left.
Yeah, I don't see them progressing. I see them going down in the rankings, if anything. So
yeah, it would be shocking if they finish anything higher than that. So I don't like the future. It may not be too kind to Paris, to say the least. So okay, LAG, man. Hey. They beat Seattle.
Yeah, and Vivid too did put on. I think he did put up some stats. Did he not?
Yeah, they looked better. Spart again was kind of the problem there. I mean, Vivid had a .98, so better.
So maybe not too bad.
I mean, Decimate was at a 1.13, Blast 1.08, Aqua 1.02, Spart 0.71.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Spart's the big problem on their team.
Yeah,
has been
I agree.
For a while.
I'm surprised they actually haven't brought back one of the other guys, like Lacefield or something.
I
even
still,
Aches, honestly.
I still want to know like what happened with that team. Like, did those three just like when Ace got dropped, they just
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, again, LAG is a team where I think they don't really have a chance. Like, again, the champs now, any team has a chance now to just turn up and win champs, which is crazy. But at the same time, I don't see either Paris or LAG doing that.
I just don't know how LAG is going to win hard points.
Yeah.
You know, like I just don't see it happening. They're okay in S&D at least, but
yeah, they're okay. But Respawn, they're
horrible. On the year, they're 8-17 in hardpoint and 2-12 in domination, which is the bottom in both categories. 2-12 in dom. Yikes.
Kind of sucks.
Obviously, they've had so many roster changes. It's hard to like judge the whole stats on everything because of the roster changes. But again, 10-8 in S&D, so decent. But and we seen them compete with some of the best teams. I think they beat Empire on Arklov a few events ago, and like they've looked decent in S&D, like I said. But I just don't know what change they could possibly make to like really come out and be a decent team at the end of the day. I fully expect them to finish bottom 3-4 for sure by the end of the season. I mean, is there any world where what change could they possibly make? Bring in Gunless or Spark?
I was gonna say like, does Gunless join this team somehow, and like somehow maybe they get to like a top 8 team? I just don't see Gunless would ever want to team with these guys, but
yeah,
who knows? Maybe he's desperate at this
Depends
point.
where Gunless's ego's at.
Oh yeah,
who knows who wants to pick him up? So.
Yeah, he could be at a point where he's like, "I'll take anything."
Right.
But yeah, I don't. It would have to be like but like they've already gone through like 2 different roster changes or whatever it is. It's like, do they go for a third again? Or I don't know.
I don't know. Spark's just kind of getting dumped on though the past few events. I just don't know if it's gonna work. All right, let's move on to Subliners, the squad, the boys. Where are you at with this team right now? You know, I mean, I think they looked pretty solid throughout the weekend.
Yeah,
but they just couldn't clutch it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say like really the word would just be like they looked like a good team, but like nothing overly impressive.
No.
But Mac did pretty much fry all weekend. But Ravens came in and
I know.
You know,
they 3-1 Seattle, so cool. Then you got 3-0 by the Ravens. Then you 3-1 the Guerillas, so cool.
Which is like cool.
And then you get 3-1 by
Chicago. So, you know, not terrible losses.
No.
But
not good.
But they put up a good fight against Huntsmen.
I agree.
Yeah, but like I did like you know there was some talk like potentially like a top 4 team. I don't think you can say they're top 4.
Right. So like this is where you go back and like you look at the last event and you look that they, you know, at Florida 2 weeks ago, they lost 3-1 to Toronto. Then they beat the Mutineers 3-0. Then they beat the Rokkr 3-0, which looked like a way better win 2 weeks ago. And then they lost to FaZe 3-2.
Yeah.
So maybe we just overreacted to that 3-2 with FaZe and now we kind of have to accept that New York's a better team than they were, but they're definitely not top.
I think 4. I think they're a top 6.
Oh yeah,
at least
I'd say top 6.
Probably.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like because I know like
5.
they did look really good. Was it the last event or the event prior? They kind of looked like, oh wow, these guys could be a top 4 team, but
in hardpoint in moments they look amazing.
Yeah,
like there's moments where you're just like, wow, this team looks incredible. And like it's just like they're probably just figuring out the game still with the new roster and how it's going to play. I would fully expect by the time Champs comes around, they're going to be a scary team.
Yeah,
and like that's why I'm looking at like this lineup of teams right now. And I'm like, this is Champs. It's going to climax at Champs.
There you go.
Like this season's going to be there's gonna be a lot of teams hitting their stride by the end of this year.
Yeah,
Championship is lining up to be an amazing event.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it should be really interesting. Yeah, these guys will probably, you know, come to form. You know, Mac is just
destroying. They still need to work on their S&D.
Yeah, yeah, and especially if Champs is a LAN event, it'd be
their first time playing.
It's gonna be interesting to see Mac on LAN, which
that's a whole drama in itself.
There was like a side drama with Slacked and TJ there, where
TJ was basically saying he garbo, he hot trash.
Yeah, which like I don't know why TJ came in and said anything.
Bro, TJ sucks.
Yeah, I know, like I
because TJ had his best event in like months, and he's like suddenly has his ego.
Say, like,
not even a great event.
I do get like you
had like a 1 KD.
Yeah, like you were good in World War II. You were on a good team in Black Ops 4, but like now you're pretty much kind of, you know, trash right now.
I want to know. I don't know the history there. Like there probably is some sort of like history there.
Why did Mac tweet at Slack like the dunking gif? Like there must have been some.
I think
some
Mac
beef.
was. I don't think there was any beef. I think Mac was just like happy
Trolling.
that they won.
Probably.
It was like, yeah, we destroyed them.
Yeah.
And he's just hyped.
Yeah.
And then they just took it way too personally.
It could have easily been some like inside joke from like a TENS or
Probably,
something.
honestly, yeah. But then it was funny, like all the like.
But yes, and then like Simp came to defend, and no one could go at Simp because Simp is Simp.
No one could talk to Simp because like
Simp's proved himself on both the LAN and online.
Yeah.
So it's
and
like what
a lot of players were chiming in.
I know, it was really interesting. Like I honestly, like my personal opinion, I think Mac is going to be just fine on LAN.
Yeah,
like,
I think so too.
You have skill. Online is a different beast.
He was winning the Challengers events at the beginning of the year and playing great.
Yeah, like he's going to do just fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be cool to see that. But
unless the moment gets to him, which is possible, I guess.
That's what I was going to say. I think Max, I've solidified Mac as like he's a really good player and great up and comer player.
Yeah, for sure.
That is a potentially really great future. Right now, he gets to stay at home, put his headset on, wear sweatpants, and not, you know, it's easier to not really feel that. It's just like he's in a scrim, but now it's just a scrim that means something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how he's going to do on LAN.
With this, I mean, New York is set for success if they can figure out some of the more technical aspects of this game still as they move forward. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that setup that they had on P2 on Hackney. Made no sense against the Huntsmen. Like, obviously there's some sort of lack of like awareness or communication or like what is happening with that for like why they would set up like that. So,
is that where RC's like took over?
Yeah, and like Zoom was pushed out into offices like
it
way
was
out. Like what in the?
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're just trying out new things and it's still experimenting like with what works and what doesn't. I don't know. So I mean, we've seen with the meta with this game with how Modern Warfare is set up is the more fast-paced subs you have on a team, and the more aggressive, talented subs you can stack on a roster, the better off you're going to be. Like, you know, and like we've seen that with like Empire. Finally, Shotzi comes to form that like he looks like an elite sub in this game, and then suddenly they're winning championships. And you look at like the Huntsmen, you sub out Gunless for Prestinni, a faster-paced player, and now suddenly they're looking better. And then of course FaZe, the fastest team in the game.
Yeah, look great.
You know, and when the Huntsmen were their best was when their subs were playing as fast and aggressive and being successful. So that's just obviously the meta at this point. So New York is set up to be that type of team.
Definitely. And
that's why I think they've been so good in Hardpoint especially. So
yeah. And I think they're always going to be like a contender to win a match. Like you can't count out
with the veterans they have.
Yeah, so like they're going to be a scary team. I think teams that are going to face them, like the top 4 teams, are going to be like, we can't take this lightly. These guys are good. So at the very least, like you can't say like they can't win against FaZe or Empire or Huntsman. Like, it's definitely possible. It's
definitely in the realm of possibilities for sure. All right, let's move on to London. Like we said, they were kind of like the most surprising team for all of us, I think.
It looks so good.
Coming off of the 0 roster change, like, this looked like a whole new 0 from what we saw at the beginning with New York, man.
For, like, having, like, the time off he did, he came back with, like, back on fire, dude.
New York, bro, is the language barrier.
It's insane.
They don't understand him.
Yeah, like, what in the world?
What's happening, dude?
This dude goes this dude goes from, like, looking like a pretty average player to, like, this dude, like, He's got some skill, and that was really cool to see. Like it was cool to see them beat New York. Like, you know, obviously, you know, whatever. But I was like I didn't think they would be this good.
I mean, Dylan finally looked like the Dylan we saw at the beginning of the year in the first like weekend.
Finally, yeah.
Like, be like, oh, Dylan's still really good, and then now finally, and then we're like, oh, Dylan, what? Ugh. And then we've been talking about this. I think all of us finally gave up on London.
I know. We were just like
last week we were all like,
exactly.
Whatever, it's done for. We gotta wait. What were you gonna say, Rex?
I think Scraps looked really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he looked way better than we've seen before, and like he actually showed up to do what Scraps is supposed to do and be good.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I
we
agree.
saw that.
It is so interesting. Like, I really want to know, like, once we can like compile data, like, if these certain team changes, like Chino on OpTic, Zero on here, like, how much of a difference they really make towards the other players, or like, are these players actually just becoming good at the game? Like, did Chino enable his team to become better? Did Zero come on and like now everyone's starting to play good? Dylan, is playing better. Like, I want to know,
enable,
like,
disable Seattle.
Exactly. Like, I want to like know like how much of like this like vibes and like these like certain team changes are like affect everyone else, because it seems like
it feels like play style is just so important.
It feels like the most part, like, people will come in that maybe not. It doesn't look like a positive change. It changes the whole team. Like, it's just crazy like how one player.
Paper, it was just it's like on paper, Zero for Jerd.
It's kind of like, okay,
it felt like a wash.
Yeah, like, but then like all of a sudden, everyone's playing out of their minds now.
Oh, I mean, the Shawnee for
Shawnee still is like, I'm not convinced about Shawnee.
Yeah, like the Shawnee for rated move still kind of feels like a wash to me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like maybe bringing back rated would help the team now. I don't know. It feels like rated's a more talented player, at least in my opinion.
But it could be
Shawnee.
like a vibes thing too, though.
It
like,
could be.
Maybe rated is just
rated
toxic.
is kind of known to be toxic.
Yeah.
So that could easily be. I mean, Rex, what is London here to stay?
I think London's here to stay. I mean, I predicted London to go to the finals for this. Like, I think I've always believed London to be good, and I think last podcast I was arguing with you guys, but no, London has potential to still be really good, and they are. So yeah, I've always believed in London.
I know.
So yeah, I'm happy for them.
I gave up on OpTic a week early. We all give up on OpTic a week early, and then me and Sam give up on London a week early.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
It's just hard though,
I think the vibes play a big part in it. So I think, I don't know, when you add a fresh face to any team, it just kind of reinvigorates you. So I guess we'll see what happens in the next tournament or two.
Yeah.
When that kind of like novelty fades from having these new players.
Definitely. I agree.
We'll see. Same thing with the Huntsmen. We'll see in a tournament or two, once they're finally really used to each other.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think their S&D is what makes them most interesting as a team. So S&D is what we can see can fluctuate the most because teams steal each other's strategies just 24/7.
Yeah.
So like we'll see if their incredible S&D was just like a good game plan going into this, or good scouting against the teams they were playing, or if it's actually like just how their team plays S&D is just better, not just strategies.
Is
So I guess
London
that's kind of like the
a
X
top 4
factor.
team?
You what?
Is London a top 4 team?
It depends what you think of the Rokkr, I guess.
I know.
Right? Rokkr, OpTic,
where do we put
London, and New
Rokkr
York.
now?
Yeah, because like I just did a tiers rankings video yesterday, a power rankings video. Yeah, and like it was really tough. It's London, LA, OpTic, New York, and Rokkr, all kind of like in that lingering 4 through 7 or 4 through 6, I guess, and like it's tough.
Yeah.
It's kind of deciding who. And okay, let's just say out of those 4 teams right now, who's the best team?
I would say London.
Going off this event, London looks like.
Yeah, I mean they did 3-0 New York, I guess. And they did beat OpTic 3-2.
Like they looked incredible, but like I feel like we like can't firmly say until we see like 2 or 3 events.
Well, OpTic was lagging, so they definitely, that was the reason why they lost. Obviously.
It was interesting to see that TJ grenade though. Like, that was something else. But
somehow OpTic lags every event.
It's crazy.
It's weird.
Yeah. But
I think, okay, is OpTic just getting really unlucky with the lag? Like, is it like just like a West Coast thing? Like they're in Cali and like they're lagging. I would like to see like, are the Guerillas lagging? Like, what in the world? Because somehow Slasher is tweeting out this lag every single event, dude.
I will say, like, if it was like he was tweeting this out and they were like being 0-2'd, then it'd be like, okay, whatever. But like they are going pretty far. I think what Slasher's tweeting out has some valid some validity to it. It does seem like it's not just them though. Like I feel like their opponents are also lagging too. Like
it has to be, right?
They can't just say like they're the only ones lagging. So it's kind of a give and take kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. It is just like Slasher every event, bro.
Come on, man.
It's like a guarantee. It's like I saw like they're playing like COD Bingo. Like, bro, that's gotta be one of the
Slasher,
slots. Like, Slasher tweeting about
lagging. Yeah, definitely.
Dude, it's every week. But yeah, okay, let's move on. This is a juicy one. Seattle Surge, man. What is happening? What happened? What is this team?
Who knows?
We've seen multiple players tweeting about like this is chalked. Octane. Full tilt.
Did not want to
play
anymore.
He's been tilted for so long.
Full tilt. And like this event put him right over the cliff. I mean, he is done. He was tweeting like, bro, I just want this to be over with. Get me next year. Like get me. Just please.
Yeah.
Get me on a cruise. Like, dude, get me away from COD.
That's not good. If you're a Seattle fan, those are not the tweets you wanted to see from all the players.
No.
Oh, wow.
I mean, thoughts on Seattle right off the rip.
Yeah.
Obviously, potential role change.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not. I don't even think it's potential. I think it's almost confirmed is that Octane, one of the best ARs in the game, will now be playing
MP5.
And then Karma is going to move up to AR.
Bro.
Actually, Octane's going to be the flex, and Karma's going to AR, which leads me to believe that they believe Karma is almost the issue with the team.
But do you believe Karma's the issue with the team?
I could see it. Like personality-wise, I could see it.
Roles-wise, their team just does not make sense for Modern Warfare. They don't have SMG Slayers on their team.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, Apathy fits.
Yeah.
Like you need somebody else with App.
Yeah.
And like Enable's not the guy, Panda's not the guy, Slack's not the guy, Karma's not the guy.
Yeah.
Well, who are those guys? I mean, what are those players then?
I mean,
those players are sub. Enable's a sub.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. None of them pair with Apathy to be another elite Slayer. Like you need another guy, and none of those guys are that.
Yeah.
So like I guess that's maybe what they're trying to find here is maybe you switch Octane, hope that Karma can be a better M4 than he is MP5, and then hope that Octane can be a better MP5 than Karma is.
Yeah.
And then it somehow improves your team.
Yeah. No, I like definitely see like the logic here where it's like you're not going to get a better M4 than Octane. However, you might see better MP5 play from Octane than Karma.
Yeah, if Karma can be 60% of the AR that Octane is, but Octane can be 150% of what the MP5 that Karma is, then it's worth it.
Yeah, then you're getting a better result. So, but yeah, again, like you're saying, like I don't know if that will change much considering Apathy.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Why not, right?
Maybe Octane will be able to replicate it all on the MP5.
I mean, if he can use the Uzi in the CDL playlist, I mean, he can do anything, right?
So, yeah, it would be interesting to see like like them progress from this. So,
yeah. I mean, what do you guys think about like all the tweets about like the this is out of our hands type tweets? Like we were trying to do stuff. You know, now we're just trying to experimenting. I mean, what do you guys think about Enable getting subbed out and like the whole Panda Enable substitution situation? Both those things. What do you guys think about both those things?
Here's what I want to know. Who's making these calls? Because none of them seem to be pointing at Joey, who's the head coach.
Yeah.
So who's this mystery person that's causing them all this trouble? Which I only could guess is like the GM or something.
Yeah.
But why would the GM be overstepping his like bounds? Like,
you have to imagine it's just
out,
a money thing,
in, or like maybe it's a money thing. But it's just weird that they seem to think this is all a huge problem, but it's nobody on the team. It's not the coach. It's something with otherworldly or something.
Yeah, like they've all seemed to like go on.
It's all like if we could talk about this, we would roast them, you know, like
they'll go on Reddit and then like they'll defend Nubsy, they'll defend certain players, but then like but they're not talking about what the actual problem is. So something from management
or the COD League or
COD League, something because we know they were trying to get a new fifth and they couldn't do it. They thought they were going to. That's why they didn't practice for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what Slack was saying.
And then they didn't get the fifth, and then they had to go back to Pander, and they wanted to drop Pander.
Substitutions, and
it's just like like I think they're like this team is probably chalking it up.
We talked about it like weeks ago. Like,
yeah,
it felt like they were already chalking it up.
Yeah,
like months ago.
I don't think there's any light for them for this season.
Is there any way? I mean, again, at the end of the day, Champs is a Hail Mary. Like,
exactly. Yeah,
you could, in theory, make the miracle run.
Yes.
And win hundreds of thousands of dollars and finish top 4 or something. Yeah. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility for this team. Yeah. Which is probably what they're just going to aim for at this point.
Probably, yeah.
Just chalk everything else, and that's what LAG was talking about. Like, Aqua was like, this is all about Champs for us at this point. Just get to Champs, try to win some cash.
Yeah,
you know, I'm excited to see what happens with Seattle moving forward. Let's talk about the Rokkr, Minnesota Rokkr.
Oof,
2 bad events in a row.
Yeah,
like, are they going to make a change? Or what do you think is in store for this team moving forward? Have we seen the beginning of the end?
I think they're going to go one more tournament with what they have. And if there seems to still like something not working, maybe they...
Have you seen that pool?
Try and make a change. Yeah, but Rokkr's supposed to be like one of the best teams. Or
yeah,
but everyone's kind of
when
guessing.
You got Atlanta FaZe, they have to play Dallas Empire first, and then they play the winner of FaZe and Surge. So they got Empire, FaZe, and Surge, which obviously FaZe and Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to beat either FaZe or Empire to get out of this group. That is going to be an uphill battle, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, jeez, I don't know. Like we were talking about like Gunless coming on this team for ASIM.
Yeah.
Which
it's in theory a possibility.
A possibility could happen. It could make the team better.
Yeah. Do you think if you brought in Gunless for either, you know, a Sim or Silly, I guess probably the most 2 likely options, would it make them better?
I don't know, because like
the vibes is interesting.
The vibes would be weird, and then I think would Gunless be willing to like do the dirty work? I don't know.
Oh,
so
I didn't see that willing to on Huntsman.
Yeah,
that's why I think it would be ASIM that would get switched out.
Yeah,
versus Silly.
I think Silly also is going to be the mediator with Gunless.
Yeah, because they played together.
They've played together before, and Silly is just more mature. He's been in the scene longer. He seems like a guy kind of can control himself, like his temper and everything more. Yeah. And keeps a clear head. So I could see Silly being able to kind of handle that, but who knows, really?
Yeah, if
that would even work.
Yeah, I mean, the most likely outcome is that they're going to get 0-2. Well, they're going to go 1 and 2 next weekend, only get 10 points and get knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah,
and then they don't play at Paris because they have a bye week. Then they play New York, and their group is London, Chicago, New York, Rokkr. That is no easy group.
No,
they could easily go 0-2 there, easily. And then you look forward to London, and I'm sorry, they have a bye at London, and then they play in Toronto the last weekend of the year. And their last weekend of the year, they've got FaZe, Empire, Mutineers.
Yeah.
They could potentially only win 2 more matches the rest of the year in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you're counting them out pretty hard already. Like, you don't think they have a chance at all.
I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying, like...
You think they're going to lose to every single team?
What? Like, no, 2 out of the next 3 events, they got to beat. 2 out of the next 3 events, they've got to beat to get out of the group. Atlanta and Empire.
Right, and that makes sense. But do you think they could beat New York?
And then, I mean, they could easily beat New York. But yeah, then they got New York, London, and Chicago. That's just not an easy group at all, by no means. So, and then FaZe is at that tournament. So, if you get second in that group behind the Huntsmen, then you got to go play FaZe in the first round of elimination.
That's rough.
So I mean, I had to say it. I've kind of started losing hope in the Rokkr.
I'm really worried. Let's just say that.
I feel like the past few tournaments I've been like, no, I'm going to give him this chance. I'm going to give him this chance. Then I'm going to give him another chance. This last tournament, we said 2 tournaments ago, was it the Huntsman homestand?
Yeah.
That was theirs to win. You know, that like, you know, that's a week, you know, they go in, they should be able to have a good chance. And then, nope, now we go into this tournament with a weakened Huntsman.
Oh, that was the Florida homestand where we thought they had the chance to win, right?
Oh, yeah, okay, it was Florida because it
was just FaZe there, basically, like at the time.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
either way, they were supposed to be like all these chances, like this is their time to win it. This is their time to win it. And we say that every week, and now it's like,
yeah, and they've been struggling.
Last week was their time to win it. Like,
yeah,
all you had was Huntsman with a new player, and they didn't pull it out at all. They didn't even come close. So it's like, well, how are you gonna do against FaZe Empire now?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I'm at with it. And like they haven't been clutch at all. There's been so many close matches and like elimination games and championships and like, you know, semifinals. How many times have they been so close and they've never been able to clutch it up? They're like, what, 1-7 in round 11s or 1-6, and they're really bad in round 11s.
Yeah,
I don't have the stat right in front of me right now, but they're really bad in round 11s, and it doesn't feel like they have that just necessary clutch gene right now, which is unfortunate. I mean, they're sitting 4th in the power rankings right now. You know, 20 points up on the Mutineers, 40 points up on London, 70 points up on OpTic, and 50 points up on OpTic and 60 points up on the Subliners. I could see them finishing 7th or 8th and coming into champs at 7th or 8th, which would be pretty tough. Have an uphill battle. Like moving forward, which would be really unfortunate, even though I think they'd be potentially a better contender than that. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. Not ideal. I really hope they could bounce back, but I'm not convinced they will.
No.
Yeah, unless they figure something out. But like, I don't know what's happened. They've just been slow. Like, they just haven't been able to piece anything together at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, but like similar to Paris, like it felt like they were ahead of the curve, meta wise, gameplay wise, and like got figured out a lot of snipe spots, like especially like on Petro and like earlier than other teams had, and how they want to play that, like timing wise, especially in S&D, and then things have caught up to them.
Yeah.
And then now you're relying on GodRx to be an in and out every weekend Slayer 1.2 KD for this team to be a competitive team.
Yeah.
And then if he's not doing it, you have to have a Sim and Silly pick up the slack, which they had better events this weekend, but not enough to pick up the slack. So it's like, that's where I'm just worried about their ceiling as a team the next, 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to OpTic.
Oh, gee.
OpTic Gaming, man. They look solid. They look solid. But like the rumors we talked, like with Gunless, those are still looming, lingering. Gunless heading there, supposedly that was going to happen this week. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that, because we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Because that kind of like popped at the end of last week. So
yeah.
What are your thoughts on OpTic? What are your thoughts on the potential of Gunless heading there? Is that still at all an option?
Rex, you were saying like, or I'm pretty sure like Slasher and Gunless like pretty much hate each other. I think.
They don't like each other very much.
Yeah. So like I could see it being like working for like a business standpoint, like where they just come to play. Let's try to win, but at the same time though, like unless they're willing to pay above the
salary cap,
salary cap, which I feel like
maybe.
Yeah. I don't know, but I don't know if he will actually go there or not. If he does, that would kind of suck for Chino, because he'd be the one to.
He'd probably be unless it was Tej, but Tej finally had a decent event.
Yeah, so
Tej has been looking bad.
Yes, like maybe they replace TJ and they keep Chino, which would be very interesting. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like with the Slasher roster change, it felt like if OpTic got 2-0'd in this, or 0-2'd, knocked out twice in this tournament, then like I've been like, all right, it's time to see what OpTic can do with like a upside play in Gunless.
Yeah.
But like now that they've seen some success here, back to back events, they definitely look improved for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rex, you're on the same page with me. Like, I just don't know if they'd make a change at this point.
I mean, I don't know. Other than TJ, I mean, I don't think TJ is. I think TJ could be a lot better, and I think Gunless could possibly excel that team a lot more.
But like the upside of Gunless versus Chino, right?
But look at what Chino's brought. Like, ever since he's
brought a 0.8 KD.
Yeah, but ever since he came, their team's been placing way better. He's the one thing that changed.
Yeah, I mean, I know KD's not everything,
and
but
now all of a sudden they're placing super well.
Yeah, but he is a marginal upgrade from JCap for sure.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is this really a tell on Chino's talent, or is it just a tell on how bad JCap was?
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, that's what I was about to say too. Is like maybe it is because JCap was just that bad.
Yeah,
and Chino is just like just better. But I don't know. I don't think TJ plays up to par either. Like I think he's been playing.
I mean, I agree. I don't think TJ's great, but I mean,
I feel like his ceiling's pretty high.
I feel in the right situations, way higher than Chino's.
Yeah.
In the right situations, but I think Chino I feel like Chino's
the right
mind
situation
is in it more than TJ's.
Yeah.
And I think Chino brings a lot to Slasher and brings a lot to Kenny. Like, look, Kenny and Slasher now have life.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think it's because of Chino. Like, they have their friend there and they have kind of like their group. And then Dashy is supposed to do Dashy things, and TJ is supposed to do TJ things.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's how they've kind of set that up. So we bring Gunless in, at least, gives Gunless for TJ. I could just see that doing something. But
yeah,
Slasher and Gunless,
I'd be more excited about him replacing Chino just for the upside that they have. Like, if you're really trying to shoot your shot for a champs win, I feel like you gotta bring on Gunless and see what happens.
True.
I think the vibes just go to crap.
Well, I mean, yeah, possibly.
But then I think you start playing bad. I just don't think it would happen after that. I don't think Slasher would play as well anymore. I don't think Kenny would play as well anymore. I really think they're connected to Chino in that way.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about OpTic with Chino in the roster. Like, I think they're going to be decent. They're definitely going to be, like, solid. And they're going to beat the bad teams, but I don't think they're going to beat the great teams. At least that's where I'm at with it right now.
I agree. I kind of agree. Unless I think Gunless for TJ, I don't know. If that goes there, I think Gunless can make up a lot of what TJ was doing. And then you have Dashy and Gunless both out there.
One thought I do have with that is I think TJ is prone to make more like technical mistakes, like with positioning and things like that, than Gunless would be. So maybe that in itself could be where that could just in itself upgrade or help the team as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Slasher playing like Slasher's playing. And you got Kenny who's, doing his thing and doing well now.
Yeah.
And then Chino just holds hills. Like it just, I don't know. That's where I see it being best.
Yeah. I'd be interested. I mean, that's why I want them to bring on Gunless so they at least can try it out. Maybe they want to try it both ways. I don't know. Yeah. Give it a shot, both chances. But all right, let's move on to the Huntsmen. The final hoorah of this podcast. Obviously, the champions coming out on top after the roster change with the Prestinni. I mean, let's start with the hot topic. Who was the MVP in your opinion for this tournament? Who was it for you guys?
I know Scump popped off there at the end.
At the end, yeah.
Which is awesome, but I think it might just be...
Who was it, Sam?
I do. Yeah, I can probably say Formal, but I would honestly probably cast my vote for Envoy.
Really? That's just to go against your bias?
I know. Yeah, like I'm trying not to go with my bias for the Formal here, which Formal did put on a really good showing.
You look good, man.
Everyone's probably screaming Scump right now. So
Scump! Scump! Drex, you got?
I could see Scump or Envoy. I think Prestinni did really well near the end of the tournament. He wasn't consistent the whole time. Wasn't pulling big numbers or anything. No. But I don't know. Prestinni was doing his job, and obviously it paid off. But
it's just crazy, man.
All around MVP. I guess I would say Envoy.
Really? That's ironic because I would say Formal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I would. Are we gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say that's good. I'm glad you picked Formal because I would pick Formal too, but I can't say Formal.
No, so why I want to pick Formal is because I think we finally saw like the recipe that a lot of the other teams have been using. It's like the main AR, getting the stats, getting the winning that KD battle.
Yeah.
Like what Formal finally was doing. Mm-hmm. And then you have the dirty player who gets in Hill, and then you have the Slayers and the guys who get map control and Scump and Envoy just pushing out and making the dirty and like making like the scrappy plays that you need to make for a team to win a championship. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. I mean,
what was Formal's stats for this weekend?
Formal had a 1.22.
Yeah.
Overall, 1.24 in hardpoint.
Yeah.
And 62.5% true engagement success rate. So he was just frying.
Yeah.
Frying. S&D wise, Prestinni was putting up stats.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
He was a really good S&D player.
Yeah, he He went 35 and 24 overall, which is 1.46.
Yeah,
so that's nuts.
That's
S&D
crazy.
wise, and Envoy had a 1.32 in S&D. So yeah, I agree with you there. I have no problem with Envoy, but in my opinion, I think Formal just the difference maker in the respawns that we've finally been like waiting to see from him as a whole.
Yeah,
like I'll give him the MVP just for that.
Yeah, I think Huntsman is starting to show like signs of what like Empire was early on. We're seeing the success when Prestinni isn't putting up very strong numbers, which I think shows how high their ceiling can be now with Prestinni.
Yeah.
Like, cause like, when he started to put like 0.95s, they could be like,
right.
Cause he had what, like 0.8?
0.84, yeah.
0.84. So yeah, so like, I think they're all going to get better from here. I
agree with you.
I wouldn't, at this point, put them.
Because they're two ARs. I mean, Formal at a 1.22, RC's at a 1.08.
Yeah.
Then you got Envoy at a 1.04, Scump at a 1. So it is kind of like, that's very comparable like what Empire did when they won their first tournament.
Yeah.
One like solid AR performance, another good AR performance, and then like 3 scrappy SMGs.
Yeah. So like I think they're going to get better. Like I was saying, I don't think they're better than FaZe or Empire right now, but I do think they're going to be pretty hard contenders coming up here in the next few weeks for sure.
I absolutely love them in S&D, the Huntsmen.
Yeah.
I think they looked awesome in S&D.
Yeah.
Rex, your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think their S&D looked amazing. I think you could just see already how like much more selfless Prestinni was on the map. Grabbing bomb, even in hard points, holding hills, like he knew what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Even in that short amount of time. And I thought Huntsmen were going to play pretty bad this tournament, to be honest.
Same.
But they came in. They came in pretty hot. Like it looked like they were just happy to be there. You could just see in their gameplay it was just sharper and more crisp, and like they had something set up.
Formal's cam was actually on. He has it off.
Yeah. So it just seemed just lighter and more fun for them.
Yeah. Scump, did you see Scump's his player cam when they won the tournament? He was just like screaming, like
just screaming.
I'm the best. Like you can't hear him, but like you can hear, like you just see him like screaming.
I'm pissed they don't like release that. Like they have to have that footage somewhere, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely they do,
dude.
But yeah,
show it to us.
That was cool. Yeah, like that. Like it basically brought me back to the very opening weekend when they beat Empire, and like you like saw actual like fire from Formal and Scump. So hopefully they can continue it. I don't like. They both have a problem of it dying out so fast.
All right, them versus Empire and FaZe though. I mean, you're not picking the Huntsman right now.
Right now, no, not at all. I don't know.
No,
I think
I mean, here's the thing: we haven't seen Empire play in a really long time.
Yeah,
very true.
Actually, I mean, who's to say where Empire is at right now?
Absolutely,
but I mean, from what we saw, I would still say Empire is probably better, but. Feels like I haven't seen Empire play in ages.
I mean, that's the beauty and excitement of the next event.
It's gonna be great.
All three of them are there. Huntsman, Empire, and FaZe are all three there. And like, well, actually, crazy enough, I saw this as well. We've had like the reverse U of winning.
Saw that. Yeah,
saw that? It was Huntsman, then FaZe, then Empire, FaZe, then Huntsman.
Huntsman now, yeah.
For a win. So we got like this weird reversal going here. So
we'll see.
Is the pattern going to continue? Like
a little bit Huntsman again.
With a Huntsman, then it goes back, and then like Champs, it's the Huntsman again or whatever.
Who knows?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But so that'll make for some juicy predictions. Next week and a lot to go over. So whew. Guys, this is another podcast in the books, guys.
Thank you.
We've been flying through it. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Cheers to that, of course. Hope you guys had a fantastic Memorial weekend, of course. And moving into next week, dealing with the situation in this world. But we're getting closer and closer, scarily, to some hottest operators here.
Yes.
If this keeps up, it's going to happen.
I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. For not to be honest with you,
and like the public pressure is mounting.
We are safe to say we are feeling the peer pressure.
We are feeling the peer pressure of some hottest operators. Rex is leading the charge. His crusade for hottest operators continues. But
let's get it.
Oh, God.
But of course, as always, guys, we appreciate all the comments, the reviews, the like, the subscribes. All the support means a lot to us. And like I said, we really do truly appreciate it. But as always, guys, I'm Josh, SalvationsElite. To my right is Sam, Bash_BO3 on Twitter, and Rex, ShadyNero. And guys, we will see you in the next episode. We out.